Have you ever thought about buying land and asked the question of can you build a house or can you hunt, farm, or what purpose can you use the land for? Well, in today's episode, we're diving into Georgia's land use and zoning regulations to try to answer as many questions as we can. So let's get into it. Welcome to The Outdoor Agent, where real estate and the great outdoors meet. I'm Dakota Oshley, a real estate professional from Griffin, Georgia, and I have a passion for tracking down more than just the perfect property. Here, we're going to explore not only the world of real estate, but also dive into a bit of the outdoor life that I enjoy. Whether you're here for real estate insights, a few laughs, or stories from the field, you're in the right place. So let's get into it. What's going on, guys? It's another exceptional day, and I hope y'all are out there crushing your 2025 goals. It is already February. I am Dakota Oshley, the Outdoor Agent, and today we are jumping into the topic of land use and zoning in Georgia. We're expanding upon the previous episode, going through just buying land in the state, and we're going to start diving a little bit deeper into each specific topic as it comes to buying land. Or one of the biggest things to consider when you're purchasing land or looking for land anywhere, whether it's Georgia or any other state, is what's the zoning laws and what can you do with the property? So that's where the zoning laws and regulations come in, and they can make the difference between your dream property and being a frustrating headache. So we can just go on and start with the basics, and that is, what is zoning? Well, zoning is a set of rules created by your local government, whether it be the city, county, and then obviously your state, or the combination of the two or three, and those control how land is used in the area. These regulations exist to make sure that different types of land uses, such as homes, businesses, farms, etc., don't interfere with each other. So, for example, if you have a piece of land that's going to be big manufacturing, well, you don't want it right next to a neighborhood, right? So that's why zoning laws exist, and that's to keep things orderly and protect property values. So, who sets the zoning laws? Well, in the state of Georgia, it's all handled by the local level, whether it be counties or city municipalities. The state gives some general guidelines, but each city or county gets to decide how land within its borders is used. Some of the most common zoning classifications in Georgia is residential, whether it be R1, R2, R3. We'll get into those later. That's for houses, but the exact rules depend on the county. And some areas only allow single-family homes, while others might allow duplexes. All of that is going to be county and city specific. So you have residential. You also have agriculture. You have commercial and industrial. So the agriculture should be pretty self-explanatory. That's for farming, livestock, and timber production usually falls under agriculture. Commercial, these are like your strip malls, your restaurants, retail stores, office buildings. All those are commercial, and there's different levels, C1, C2, etc. And industrial as well. That's your factories, your warehouses, your manufacturing, your big projects, right? So one big mistake I see is people assume that all rural land is agriculture and can be used however they want, but it's not always true. Some land is zoned ag, but has restrictions on livestock, mobile homes, etc. You just really need to check your local ordinances for the county that the property is in. So, how do you actually check the zoning? You can contact the county or the city planning department where the land is located, and that's usually the zoning office, and they can provide zoning maps or ordinances. A lot of this information can be found online, and I'll actually include some of the resources that I use as an agent down in the description below. One of the main ones that I like to use is qpublic.net, and you can just Google whatever the county is that you're looking for, and then zoning or zoning regulations, and it should pop up. It'll be qpublic, or maybe your state has something different, but it should be a list of all the zoning regulations for the county or city that you're in, and you just have to go down and find either development or etc. But every county is going to be a little bit different. But when you're looking at the zoning laws or regulations, you're looking for the zoning code for the property, whether it be an R1, an ag, agriculture, residential, R2, etc. And you want to know what the requirements are for each zone. So in Spalding County, where I'm from in Georgia, there's some areas or zones that require a 1,500 square foot minimum. There's some zones that require a 2,000 square foot minimum. You just really need to check on those. The zoning will also show you allowed uses. Some zones have restrictions on what you can build. There's zones out that require square footage minimums. They'll also require or limit your use as far as modular or mobile homes. Some zones will only allow a single family home. Some agriculture zones, agriculture residential, will not allow poultry. You just really got to check. And again, this is a very broad overview because we can't get specific for every person's county. I mean, there's 158 counties in the state of Georgia. It'd take 3 days to go through all the requirements just in Georgia. And if you're listening in Illinois, who knows what you're dealing with up there? You'll just need to check your local county ordinance. But the zoning for each county will also have setback rules and lot sizes. That'll include minimum acreage requirements, and the setback is just how far away from the property line the structure can be. And it'll also have minimums for road frontage. A lot of times you'll have, say you have a large tract of land and you want to subdivide it. A lot of times the issue comes of how much road frontage does the property actually have, because each subdivided lot has to have a minimum road frontage. All this is stuff you just got to look into and see if it works for you. You'll also have overlays and restrictions that will list out any extra rules or regulations for, say, flood zones or historic districts. So before you buy land, it's worth taking the time to read the county zoning ordinance to make sure that the land is going to fit your plans for what you're wanting. If you find a perfect piece of land but it's not zoned the way you need it, can you change it? Generally, the answer is yes, but there is a bit of a process. You'll have to apply for rezoning, and it's not always easy. But the general process is you'll submit a rezoning application to the county that the property's in. You'll have to attend some public hearings where neighbors can voice their objections or opinions. And typically you'll have the signs put out at the property for passerbys on the road. And then the county commission or city council will vote to either approve or deny the request to rezone. But the catch is counties rarely approve rezoning unless your request aligns with their long-term land use plan. So if a county wants to keep certain areas residential or certain areas agriculture or commercial, it may be tough. But again, if you've already checked your county's zoning as well as their future zoning use maps, most counties have to report to the state projecting, I believe it's every 20 years, what the projected use for their county land is. And all that information should be online somewhere. But the rezoning process will also take time and money, so you'll have to pay some fees for applications, legal notices, any survey requirements or engineering reports might be required. So before you buy the land with the hopes of rezoning, make sure you're checking with the county and having conversations with them before you get in too deep on this thing. But by and large, if you're looking for land for a single family home or just recreational tract, you're probably not going to have to deal with rezoning. Rezoning usually comes in with a developer coming in, buying up old ag fields or run down old neighborhoods that may be half vacant and looking to either develop it into a new subdivision or some sort of commercial or industrial use. So anyhow, wrapping up, I know it's a lot to take in, and we're just really hitting the high points, but zoning laws control what you can do with the land, and they vary by county, so always check the zoning before you buy and make sure it's going to work for your purposes. Use the county zoning maps and planning offices to verify zones and see if it fits your intended use. And just know that rezoning is possible, but it's never guaranteed. And if you did need to rezone, be prepared for a long process. And it can be, who knows how long it can take. But the best way to avoid zoning headaches is to work with an agent that knows the land and also the local requirements. And if you're looking for property and want to make sure that it fits your goals, feel free to reach out to me if you're looking in Georgia, and I'd be happy to help. That's all I've got for today, guys, going over zoning. I hope this quick hit was helpful for you, whether it be immediate or sometime in the future. In the next episode, we'll be tackling some other big issues with land buying, that's utilities and infrastructure. But until then, whether you're tracking trophy game, scouting for your next dream home, or searching for your next real estate investment, remember, every hunt has a story. I'm Dakota Oshley, the Outdoor Agent. We'll see you next time. Hey guys, it's Dakota Oshley, the Outdoor Agent. If you enjoyed this episode, can you do me a favor? Hit the subscribe button and leave us a review. It really helps the show grow. If you're on Apple Podcasts, you can just scroll down, tap the stars, and write a quick note. And if you're listening on Spotify, you can rate the show right on the main page. Your support means a lot, and I appreciate y'all listening, and we'll see you next time.